Stunning headline here. How much more money do you think America's going to need, Senator?
Well, we've got a proposal to add $250 billion to that account, Bill. Obviously, we're running out of money because the program is popular, it's successful, and even after it was rolled out and there were a few speed bumps along the way, as things smoothed out, lenders became more familiar with it, and it's put a lot of money into small businesses that are keeping workers employed, keeping small businesses in business, and that's what we want to see happen coming out of this thing, is we want those businesses to be there and those jobs to be there. And all it takes is we need to top off that account. It's a very simple vote in the United States Senate. And as of right now, the Democrats are objecting to it, as has been their custom, and try to get a bunch of other stuff through this. And right now, we ought to be focused on the crisis. The crisis at hand is the PPP fund is running out of money. All we simply need to do is to increase that funding authority, and we can keep those loans going out to our small businesses, and they can keep their workers employed.
Does this include phase 4, or is that on top of all this? Well,
there will be. I think at some point, Bill, there probably will be a phase 4, but this is a very simple fix. And Senator McConnell tried last week to go down to the floor and basically call up a bill that would simply add $250 billion to the PPP program. The Democrats objected. And the irony about all that is a hugely bipartisan program, one that both Republicans and Democrats were involved in designing, and it's working effectively. And they're trying to hold it hostage like they always do. And as soon as Nancy Pelosi shows up, she's always got a list of demands, many of which are totally unrelated to the issue at hand. And that's certainly the case here. All it takes is a simple vote, unanimous consent vote in the Senate, and then the House could do it the same way, send it to the president. We can increase the funding authority and keep those loans going out to small businesses.
Probably might need that by Friday, and the clock is running on that.
We're running out of money in it, yeah.
You probably heard the conversation about China, the World Health Organization. I know you've been following that back and forth. Nancy Pelosi put out this statement. We can only be successful in defeating this global pandemic through a coordinated international response with respect for science and data. But sadly, as he has since day one, the president is ignoring global health experts, disregarding science, and undermining the heroes fighting on the front line at great risk to the lives and livelihoods of Americans and people around the world. I know, in a sense, this is a political back and forth, but what is your view on that from South Dakota today?
The World Health Organization needs accountability. That's the view. That should be everybody's view. And there were a lot of decisions made based on questionable information, based on a lack of transparency from China when this thing took off in the first place. And I think the World Health Organization needs to answer those hard questions. And I think the president is right. And Congress would be right to scrutinize where American dollars are being spent and whether or not they're being used effectively. And in the initial phases of this, as this thing broke out and became a pandemic, what role, if any, did the World Health Organization play along with China in the world not knowing about this sooner? And I think those are legitimate. That's a legitimate line of inquiry. I think those types of questions need to be asked. And I think the president is right to demand accountability.
Senator, thank you for your time. John Thune there by FaceTime today. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Thanks, Bill.
You bet.